Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another review of quite possibly the most disappointing figure of 2022. I know we're pretty deep into 2023 at this point, but hey, this is my freaking channel. Either way, today we're taking a look at the Executive Replicas Heavy Metal Taarna and Avis 2-pack. Now, where to begin with this one? Well, I guess I shouldn't beat around the bush here, so any of my younger viewers out there, if any, please cover your ears for the next 10 seconds, because all I have to say is that this is quite the piece of fucking bullshit. Like, we are talking grade A, major league bullshit. And it's been quite some time since I've dropped a bomb like that on this channel, because I've been keeping things relatively family friendly as of late, but this thing just grinds my freaking gears, dude. So, without further ado, before we get into the meat and taters of this review, since I no longer have the packaging for this figure, or figures in this case, let's take a look-see at their accessories. Mostly Taarna. Avis doesn't really need any accessories. He's a big alien chicken bird pterodactyl thingy. Starting off, Taarna comes with a pair of relaxed hands, which I believe she's actually packaged with these, but I swapped the grip hands on just to make my life easier, because this review is not going to be all that easy in the first place. That said, Taarna also comes with a secondary head sculpt with windswept hair. Now, you can actually take the hair off. I may just have my dad super glue the hair pieces onto these different heads, and we'll go from there, because the hair really does not need to pop off. It's just kind of pointless and doesn't really peg on. Like, I know people give Hasbro crap for swappable hair, but this is not that great. Like, there's nothing for it to, cinch onto. It's too hard. It needs to be softer, and it needs to have something to slot into, and it really doesn't. That said, she also comes with her scabbard and her sword, which I'm very surprised I haven't broken yet because of how thin it is. You could slide it in the scabbard. I had to heat mine up and straighten it out just so the sword was a little bit easier to pull in and out of there. But there you go. It's got some give to it, it's not old McFarlane Toys weapon bad, but it's not, well, if we're going to compare apples to oranges here, Lady Death sword good, or even Hell Witch sword good. So yeah, I would much rather take like a little bit more gummy weapon that's not going to break, as opposed to a hard plastic one that's going to maintain its shape and potentially break. So kindly moving Taarna out of the way here. Why don't we just take a look-see at the star of the show, really, and the saving grace of this set, Avis. Like, this thing is cool, man. I like this. It's got a nice sculpt, nice paint. Not exactly accurate to the movie or even the artwork on the packaging. Mostly in the eyes. I think the eyes should have been more of a black, like a pearly black or something, instead of this kind of light color that they went with. I think overall he should have been more of a yellowy green, maybe. He's a little dark. But other than that, the sculpt is definitely there. It looks like Avis. His little tail fin feather thingies plug in separately. They do kind of pop out. Another thing I might have my dad glue on just to keep them from popping out. But yeah, man, Avis is definitely the saving grace of this set, because well, let's just say Taarna definitely isn't. But as far as his articulation goes, because he does have a little bit, he's got a double ball peg situation, I think, going on in the head, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to pop it off to find out. It might just be a single, but you get some range out of that. Not too bad. The strap on mine had some schmoots right here, and I might need to just file it down a little bit, but that kind of sucks. It's kind of chewed up there, but whatever. It's not that big a deal. He can flap his wings. They are on ball joints. You do have to plug these in when you open it, and it is kind of hard, so I would advise maybe heating it up and trying to put them in. But they do rotate, they do go up and down, they do move, tilt a little bit forward and back, but mostly I like to keep them against his body and up in the air, like the poster, the movie poster. And then the legs can kick forward and back a little bit, not a ton. And he doesn't have anything in the feet. I thought he had a rotation or something, but it doesn't appear that he does. So yeah, that's pretty much Avis in a nutshell. He's a brick. Can't do a lot with him, but you know, what are you going to do with him in the first place? Just stand him there and have Taarna sit on his butt. Looking cool. If this figure wasn't a big fat turd sandwich. Now, before we roast this thing like a Thanksgiving turkey, a little bit of a, not really a history lesson, but a look back at Overlord's youth. Because when I was a young lad I want to say I was in high school when I saw this movie, I had relatively high expectations. And while I enjoyed the film, I was expecting, you know, a movie called Heavy Metal to have bands like, I don't know, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, maybe Accept, Saxons, Scorpions, or even old school Def Leppard and UFO and bands like that. And we got Black Sabbath and Dio, but we also got Stevie Nicks and Journey. And while I like Stevie Nicks and Journey, those aren't metal bands, so I was very much disappointed in the soundtrack, because back then I only liked metal. I didn't like a lot of other, you know, genres of music like I do now. I would say I'm a lot more open-minded about music now than I was when I was in high school, even though I am kind of a snob when it comes to, well, modern pop music, we'll say, which I like to call the McDonald's of music because it's processed and fake, just like McDonald's food. Either way, let's just say my dreams were crushed because there was no Motorhead or Judas Priest or Iron Maiden for your boy in this movie. That said, the second one, Heavy Metal 2000, had Pantera and System of a Down and Machine Head and Billy Idol, who's awesome. Not exactly metal, but he could do it if he wanted to. I'm not gonna lie, he has some pretty hard songs out there. But either way, my thoughts of the soundtrack and the deceptive title aside, I really was looking forward to this figure because we've never really had a decent Taarna figure ever. Like, even Claiborne Moore or Moore Toys didn't even attempt this character. They only did Heavy Metal 2000 figures, which I do have. I've reviewed them on my other channel before it got hacked. But as much as I'd like a Julie Strain in this style with all the articulation and stuff, it better be better than Taarna here, because Taarna is the hottest of hot garbage. Like, this thing is hella freaking loose in the knees, is difficult to stand, doesn't look like the original Solicitations, which, you know, almost nothing does. And, you know, being an avid collector of old 90s figures, that was pretty much just the thing. They almost never look like the prototypes, so I'm willing to let that slide. But why the heck is she loosey-goosey? Like, she is ridiculously loose. I know it was made by Loose Collector, but come on, man, this is ridiculous. And I'll give them the credit for trying to make good and sending me, you know, all the way from the flippin' Philippines, which I guess is where Loose Collector's located. I don't know, anything I've seen with him, he's got like some sort of accent. I don't want to come off as a jerk or anything and get his, you know, ethnicity or race wrong, but I'm guessing that's where he is, because that's where I got most of this one. It's actually a kit bash of the last one and the second one I got, because the first one I got I had to send back, and thankfully not all of it, just the Taarna figure, and I think not even the hair, but just the base, how she came out of package. I had to send that back to Executive Replicas, and then I was able to get another one, which broke. So not much of an improvement there. So they just contacted, I'm guessing they contacted Loose Collector, and he sent me the one, most of the one I have now. It's a kit bash. I think the midsection and this leg are from the last one. This leg and the upper body and the arms are from the second one, and the head is from the last one. And the hair is obviously there because it's the same. So I did kit bash the crap out of mine to get one that was somewhat decent, but she's definitely going to need possibly some Kiki surgery. I don't know, because she is just hella freaking loose. That really blows, because this thing cost like 120 bucks, 130 bucks after shipping, and took almost a year to come out, and for it to be this loose, man, that sucks. Big fat hairy monkey balls, like, that is lame. So I guess we'll talk about the articulation. Probably better than just sitting here complaining about it. She does have a double ball peg in the head. Doesn't get the best range, but it is there. Again, kind of loose. I wish it was tighter, but it's not. And of course the hair will pop out if I futz with it too much. Shoulders go out to the side pretty well. Go back down, move forward and back. She's got a bicep twist, which I gotta tell you, that the Hell Witch figure is just so much better than this. Even the Lady Death. She's got a single elbow there. Swivel at the wrist with the inappropriate hinge. Another thing they fixed on Hell Witch. Torso's got the double ball peg, but I don't want to futz with it too much and make it any looser than it already is. But she can kind of sort of tilt forward and back. And side to side, and rotate and all that. But again, I don't want to make it too loose. Her hips can kick forward, kick back, and kick out. She can do the splits at least. But yeah, you can see there's like no friction on that. It definitely needs to be tighter up there. She's got a thigh cut. It's about the only thing on her freaking legs that's tight. Double knee, which is okay, but not great. And then she's got a rocker and a hinge in the ankle, which can't really do a whole lot due to the sculpt. But all the articulation is there. She does have peg holes, thankfully, but I don't really have a stand that works for her. McFarlane pegs are too long, and they don't seat properly in the foot. But what a disappointing figure, man. The sculpt is there. I think the paint is good enough. Does it look like the original solicitation? No. Could this shoulder pauldron be a little bigger? Absolutely. It's way the frick too small. But I'm willing to let that slide if the thing was just tighter, which unfortunately it ain't. If you want to, you can clip her sword onto her side here, though. It's kind of tricky, but you can get it to work. There. And there she is with her sword. So that's kind of neat. That's nifty. It stays. For the other one, it was kind of loose, but this one, the clip's a little bit more enclosed. So it does stay, but what a turd. Definitely the most disappointing figure of the year for me, just because it had the potential to be on the top 10 or whatever I decide to do, maybe top 5,072 or something, but I didn't buy 5,000 figures last year. If I did, then that's hella embarrassing. Like, I can barely get her to stand right now. I'm a pain in my nuts. Like, it almost feels like one of her legs is longer than the other one, which probably wouldn't surprise me. Like, what the jumping jack flash, dude? Like, really? Ugh. I don't freaking know, dude. There. Now our legs are on the same playing field, but this thing is just, it's just bad. It's just bad. Don't buy it. If you want to waste money on a Taarna figure, get this cheaper one that doesn't come with Avis. Maybe they fix these issues. I'm half tempted to give that a try if I ever have $60 to burn. I really am. Because this is a disgrace. This is terrible. But thankfully, Executive Replicas learned from this and didn't, pardon my French again, they didn't fuck up Hellwitch like they did Taarna here. So take that for what you will. But before this review drags out any longer than it already has and becomes even more of a rant than it already has, we're just going to compare Taarna to our two regulars, because if they're not going to care about this figure, why the hell should I? So with that being said, let's move right along and do just that. And as promised, here's not so good old Taarna alongside our two regulars, the Mythical Legions of Rhodamandibulus, Limit Spawn, who as usual towers over everyone. And like myself, Al Simmons doesn't have time for subpar pieces of dog crap like Taarna here. So before this hot garbage figure ticks both him and me off any more than she already has, let's now wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and yeah, I'm not going to bore you guys with stating how terrible and disappointing this figure set was again, because I've already done that. If you made it this far into my rant/review of this thing, then congratulations. That's a testament to your own personal sanity, insanity, whatever you want to call it. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for putting up with my bullshit for about 10-15 minutes of your time, because this is a rough one to get through, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been more disappointed in a figure and or figure set this much in a very long time. Like, Loose Wing Demona and Gummy Ass Sleepwalker ain't got shit on this set. I mean, seriously. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review/rant, for better or for worse. If you're so inclined, please feel free to do all the YouTube rigmarole, as well as hit me up over on Instagram at Overlord Productions. If you ever want to talk toys or anything in particular, is the #1 best way to get a hold of yours truly. As always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when, man, what a disappointment. What a disappointment. I didn't even make fun of Valentine's Day in this video, because this thing is such a freaking massive slap in the face. And Taarna's even got red on for the occasion. That said, I also think Valentine's Day is a big fat waste of time and a corporate scam. And not for nothing, but you should be, I don't know, nice to your significant other year-round, not just 1 week of the year. That's kind of bullshit, bro. And not for nothing, but also, the guy that Valentine's Day is named after got publicly executed last I checked. So, yeah, red is for the color of blood. This video got real dark real fast, so I'm just going to end it here. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Hopefully on a much brighter and less morbid and happier note. Tee-hee!